Hey guys, so I have just done the entire Reverie Abyssal Zone up until 400 meter. Um, it's really challenging, I have to say, and it's very tailored to a certain unit. Like each of this fight, you need all those units to actually work together to solve the puzzle. And some of you, especially newer players, or for you that do not have a very wide roster, you might really find it not possible to do this. But again, I just want to remind you that this is a permanent event and you don't need to do it right away. Because from what I see when I was reading the kit, I noticed that the unit that will be releasing from now onward, right after Liang Yue is Noir, then Recoleta, Aleph, and then we have Hisabeth, and lastly is Kiparina. They are actually the solution to the stages if you do not have the current solution. Alright, so the first one, again, I will do a proper guide, but the thing is, I do not know if I can do so many variation of run. I will try my best, but I haven't really explored that. So do take my word with a pinch of salt. I might be wrong somewhere. If you notice that what I said is wrong, just mention it in the comment section below so people knows about it, right? Basically, this fight is tailored at the moment towards this team. Okay. Yeah, toward this team like Liang Yue, 37, and Fatutu, as well as Bebbles. Okay? The reason is because this stage has, first of all, about Bebbles, this stage has healing taken minus 60%. Bebbles is the most reliable shielder that we have. Jay is weak against this boss because this boss is mineral, so it's very difficult unless you really have him like fully built. Even then, he will be receiving a lot of damage and he might not be able to properly sustain. Okay, so the best choice we have here now is Bebbles. Liang Yue, on the other hand, is that this boss, for every 3 rounds, all allies enter a daze at the start of every 3 rounds. But I'm a bit confused because when I use Liang Yue's ultimate, I get immunity for that round. At the start of the next round, I should not have immunity anymore, right? But it seems to work that I do not get daze. Or is it that the buff is until the start of next round and then it expires? Maybe, I don't really know, but it works, right? And her rotation, Liang Yue, every 3 rounds you should be using her ultimate. Regardless if you're P0, P1, P2, you might want to keep it at that. Okay, every 3 rounds you want to use the ultimate so that you can block this daze. If you are not doing that, if you get her ultimate earlier, like in round 2, not every 3 rounds, but you got it earlier and you want to use it in the green zone, because in the green zone it extends her immunity, so it basically gets spilled over to the next round. But I would still recommend to just go for every 3 rounds because it's easier to keep up with the dynamics. Like if you do it earlier, you might mess up the immunity buff, and then you've forgotten when the enemy will do these days and stuff like that. So better to just keep it like every 3 rounds. Okay, so Liang Yue would be the key. Another unit that has immunity is Yenisei. Alright, Yenisei, but again, if you are using Yenisei, will you spend all your AP just to get Yenisei's ultimate every 3 rounds? Even if you do, then you will take a very long time to defeat the boss because your team then doesn't have a proper DPS. So Liang Yue serves as the damage dealer for this team while countering the mechanics. And I have to say this, looking at how they are designing this stage specifically for certain characters, there might be stages in the future that also will cater to Liang Yue's kit. So again, I do think pulling for like characters that have a lot of niche, like Jack of all trades, would actually be better than getting meta, right? You are covering more grounds, more coverage. You can tackle more fights, not just getting 10 million score in raids. You are able to clear more fights, right? So this is what I think, and I think if you not yet get Liang Yue, you probably should. Okay, that is something to consider. Then you have 37. 37 and Flutter Page. Why are they important? Because first of all, if Flutter Page has Eureka, and when a unit attack, she will do the yellow word attack. So it's an additional. So it's countered as a different instant. This boss has this Guardian Spirit. And this Guardian Spirit is at 5 HP and it only takes 1 damage. So if you're going to hit it like 5 times, you won't even have AP to do that. So the best way to do it is use Genesis or the additional damage from Flutter Page. So let's say if you're using Flutter Page incantation, there will be 2 instances of attack because she attacked and that has the yellow word as well, so 2 instances. And now she has Eureka, and if you use 37 to attack, you get Genesis, the blue one, then the yellow one from Flutter Page, and the red one, which is a normal attack. So 3 instances. So 1 AP from Flutter Page and 1 AP from 37 will kill this minion, allowing us to attack the boss behind. Alright, so they are very critical as well, especially Flutter Page for this fight. If you do not have, then you really need to rely on a lot of follow-up attack in order to deal as much instances of damage to kill this boss. Right? Now that you kill the boss, this enemy, they have Unsparing, and the other one has Well. And the problem is that it keeps stacking up. Like they gain 3 stacks, 3 stacks, 2 stacks. After a while, you have a lot of stacks. If you can't even bypass the minion quickly to deal damage on them, the stacks will go insane. So the best here is to use 37 and Flutter Page to kill this, and then do as much follow-up attack with Liang Yue, with 37 follow-up, with Flutter Page follow-up to remove that. So once you tackle all of that, you'll be fine. The last thing is that you can't stop the boss from attacking, so there's no way to cheese it. Even you have Moxie reduction, you have all sort of thing, it doesn't matter because we do not have a character that can reduce Eureka. And this Guardian Spirit, it grants Eureka to the boss, and if the boss has 3 Eureka, they will do a very strong attack that has the capability to kill you. Alright? What it does is it just do 1 Eureka to 1 random ally. So if you're lucky, it will take 6 full rounds for them to do that attack once. But if you're bad luck, it keeps passing on to one of the enemy, and instantly that enemy has 3 Eureka, it will do the attack. So the best here is that keep track on the Eureka. If they have 2 stacks of Eureka in any other boss, you might want to consider to actively use Babel's shield. Okay, Babel's shield will be able, you need it to block it. Apart from Babel, I saw another run. People did it with Sotheby. Even with 60% healing taken reduction, Sotheby healing is actually pretty crazy, and she can heal in between attack, so that is extremely good. It's just that make sure to keep up her cure stats. Alright, so this is for the current team, but what is in the future? So Keeperina is actually the solution to this, more than Liang Yue, I believe. Although, again, you need all these characters to work together, but Keeperina is the key because Keeperina has shield, so healing taken reduction is not a concern, and Keeperina cleanses control even though she is controlled. At the start of turn, she got hit by Daze, but she still cleansed it. Now everyone doesn't have Daze. So in that case, you don't need Liang Yue. So now you can bring in other character, the full impromptu probably, and they should be able to solve this fight. Although I'm not sure how, even if you stack up so many impromptu, even if you don't kill the minion in front, with Genesis attack, but impromptu, like you're wasting the first 5 hit from impromptu. Not even that, if you have Voyager, it will be considered 2 instants. So you just need like maybe 2 impromptu to kill, assuming that you have been hitting it with your normal attack from Baccarola and Voyager and whatnot. Then once it's dead, all the impromptu will focus on the enemy behind and clear it. So Keeper Arena is the solution. If you can't clear it now, just wait. Okay, this content is permanent, just wait. Alright, now for the second stage, you need an AoE attacker. Actually, you don't need Semmelweis, but the problem is we don't have another AoE 6-star mineral attacker. Unless you want to explore a 5-star option, you can try, but I did not try it yet, so I do not know which one will actually work or not. But most of the 6-star we have are single target like Jiuliangzi. So Semmelweis worked very well in this situation because of her AoE attack. And obviously, with that said, the one after Noir is Recoleta and she's AoE. And she's able to do a lot of damage and would be able to solve this, to defeat this boss rather easily. Okay, and we cannot use a non-stronger Afflatus. If you bring a non-stronger Afflatus, make sure they are just buffing and not attacking. You don't want to get this bedrock up, okay, and it can stack. Alright, and Pickles here is absolutely one of the important unit because of clans. Alright, so this team is also very restrictive, right? Who else can cleanse that is mineral? Horopedia, but would you build Horopedia for this? So, yeah. Maybe with Recoleta and Fatutu, if you can do enough damage, you probably can kill the enemy before the enemy kills you. So, if you don't have some cleanse, maybe you still can survive it. Alright, so this is for the second fight. Not as difficult as the first one, but still can be quite restrictive depending on your roster. Now, for the third one, okay, third one is more of a puzzle. It's not that difficult. You just need to know what you are doing, and you can even bring no healer to the team. But the thing is that you need to bring spirit and intellect. Every natural, which is beast, plant, they will get hit by the boss and is considered an Afflatus weakness, so boss will hit harder. And boss will have like more HP. How many HP? Like 25% more HP. So if you have 4 natural Afflatus, you will get like double the HP and you probably can't kill it on time. So bring just spirit and intellect. And what you need to do is that you need to check every round if you get this infusion tube. Whichever character to get infusion tube, you should attack the first aid crate. Whichever who get electric wall, you attack the dynamo robot. So here if you have this, and if you are not damaged, you don't have to bother attacking this. But let's say if the boss attack you, you need to heal back, you just attack this first aid crate. It will heal you about 2,000. Right, so just hit it twice, you get 4,000, and the boss usually do around that level of damage. 2,000 to 4,000 each. It's kind of like buff, attack, ulti, so you gotta be careful with that. The last thing you need to pay attention to is at every threshold, 30, 70, 50, and 30, boss will do an ultimate without consuming Moxie, so you can't stop this as well. This is like Spatodia 200 meter tree, so be careful with that. Just go slow when you see that it's coming. Okay, the best is that if you see the boss has the buff, then you pass through this threshold. Then it will just be one ultimate and boss will buff. If boss have an ultimate and you pass through this ultimate, you will get hit by double ultimate. and that's probably the end. Alright, so be careful with that. Future solution, I do not know. I don't really see it yet because there is no spirit or intellect. Maybe the new limited character in the new version of the Keep Arena may be a spirit unit. Right? A spirit limited, we already have Lucy, intellect, Jiuliangzi, mineral, Liang Yue, star, Andronala, beast. So it will be appropriate that we get a spirit limited, because plant we just have Hisabeth and Noir very close by. I don't think we will get another plant limited, right? So that character will cater for this fight. Now the last one is the fourth one, and this is by far to me the most difficult one. And I have to build up Beacon Bloom's Euphoria for this. And it's really, because there's so many things going on. First, it has this stats down. You need at least 5 stats down on it. And what do you call that? Beacon Bloom, inflict 2 debuff, so 2 stats down. And negative status works as well. So you have NN Lee that can also make everyone deal negative status. So NN Lee is like very important here. And of course, the character that can do that as well is Noir, right? So Noir would be the future unit for this, and it's going to be like a week or 2. So if you can't do it now and you don't want to invest on Beacon Bloom and you plan to pull for Noir, then you can do that, right? For me, I don't plan to pull for Noir, so I build up Beacon Bloom, and she is very strong. And then the enemy will have this reduction to Genesis, so you can't use poison, unfortunately. And also, they will inflict this enervate. And every time you attack with the incantation, your incantation get weaker, and by the time you have 6 stat, you get stun, you get daze. So the only way to dispel this is to use an ultimate. But the problem is, the first ultimate that you use, then your character will get minus 50% damage dealt. So this fight is tailored for ultimate, but the first ultimate should not be a DPS ultimate. You maybe use like Kakania's ultimate, or you use like an Annalise ultimate, but make sure the DPS ultimate is cast second. Alright? So you need to have multiple ultimates, and you need to generate your ultimate fast. And again, the only person now that can generate ultimate fast that is plant and do damage is Noir. Noir can get the ultimate in like really quickly, and she do so much ultimate, right? So, yep. Else, you have to invest in Beacon Bloom. Here, Juvis is very important as well, and it can help you, which I did not really do in my run because I just noticed that like at the end of the run when Kakania died or someone died and I was in a very desperate position. So I got to re-look into it again, and I noticed that if you petrify the jellyfish, they will not detonate until the petrification is over, right? So that can help you prolong it, because every time they detonate, the boss will resummon them. So if you actually petrify them, they just stop there for several turns, right? And which means they won't even detonate if you time your petrification properly. So which is why actually Druvis is very important, because the whole time I was thinking like, I have so many rank 2, rank 3 for Druvis, and the boss keep getting petrification resistance. I do not know where to dump this petrification. So actually you can do it on the jellyfish. Yeah, so with that, then this fight is rather simple. So basically the staple unit now is like Beacon Bloom, Druvis, and then Lee. And Kakania is obviously there to tank. But if the jellyfish is not detonating, and you can inflict so many debuff on the enemy, you can even have Jessica in the party. You don't really need Kakania, I think. I will try that again. Like, I don't bring Kakania and see if I can do the fight, because I think it should work. Because Druvis is my healer in that team. Alright? So anyway, if you cannot do this fight, don't stress out. Really, don't stress out. You still have time. This is a permanent event. Don't quit or curse or doom post, because this fight is so difficult that you can't do it. Again, it's optional content. It's really for player who has a very deep roster and a very dynamic roster with a lot of utility. Okay, so here I emphasize again, utility. Don't just pull to get 10 million in raid. There is just no point except bragging or except getting that 10 USD in the main bulletin. But the problem is that in the Chinese version, this season has no main bulletin. So Yeah, so think about that, right? So anyway, thank you very much for watching this video. I will start doing the guide from 350 and then move down to 310 and then move back up 360, 70, 80, 90, and then 400. I'm going to start with 350 because yeah, a lot of people are asking me questions about 350. So I think if most of you are stuck in 350. So I will start with that. Right? So thank you very much for watching this video and have a good day.